All right. Welcome back to the Reading Room Thursday, second week in a row. Thank you so much to everyone that watched, supported, subscribed, liked, shared, all that mumbo jumbo. Thank you so much for all your support last week. I think it was a great debut episode. Thanks in large part to you. So before we get started, please make sure that you are subscribing to my channel, and then also please make sure that you're liking this if you like it, and if you don't like it, give me some time. It's only episode 2, all right? Let's not drag me through the mud. Also, please make sure that you are following me on my other social media handles as well. I am Troy, letter J Robertson, Troy J Robertson on all fronts, on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram, Troy J Robertson. And yeah, you can get like weekly updates, weekly content reminders, maybe some fresh, hot off the press tea as it happens. So let's get into it, shall we? All right, shows to look out for this week. Mind was blown, didn't have anything until I remembered HBO is a godsend and premiered Insecure Season 3. Issa is a savage. The show is savage. It is so good. Anyone who has HBO, you need to subscribe to that show. You, not literally, but like emotionally subscribe your emotions to it. If you don't have HBO and you want to watch a hilarious and relatable and culturally correct and just everything great about our generation show, literally watch it. Insecure, HBO, hilarious. Issa Rae is a genius. Thank you so much. It's a gift to all of us. Malibu. Hella. It's so LA. And not Kristen Cavallari's LA. Issa Rae's LA. Next, we are going to get into Troy's 5 titillating topics. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me upgrade you this week. This week has been a lot. There's been a lot that's going on. Reality television, social media. Like, this week's episode is jam-packed, and I hope all of you enjoy it as much as I do. So the first topic that we are getting into is RIP Bethany Frankel's longtime on-again, off-again boyfriend Dennis was found dead last week in an alleged drug overdose. I say on-again, off-again because sometimes they were on, sometimes they were off. It's pretty self-explanatory, but they definitely had some tumultuous times, if you will, and I don't know anything because I wasn't there. I don't live in New York, I live in Memphis, Tennessee, and all I know is what I know. And what I know is they might have been on again, off again due to some maybe drug issues that he was having. I'm speculating, I don't want to sound ugly, but that might explain a lot of the reason why they did do a lot of back and forth. All I know is that she cared for Dennis a lot, and I want Bethany to find happiness, and I liked Dennis. I thought he wore a really wild sweater to a party in the Hamptons once, but who hasn't, okay? It's great to be successful. It's even better to be strong. So please make sure that you are keeping the B of Real Housewives of New York in your thoughts. Send her lots of love and lots of light, as well as Dennis's family. Moving on to topic number 2, not to keep the depressing topic train going, but we have to talk about her. She is a legend. Aretha Franklin has been very, very ill from some time. I don't personally know what it is, but when I was at the dentist today getting a tooth fixed because I had a small, minor little chip, I had the dentist's mouth, hands in my mouth, if you will, and we were talking about it, and my dentist is speculating, I don't really think they're ready to say what she has or what she's at liberty to say, but then I got another bit of tea from a friend who says that they've already been vocal about her having cancer. I don't know. Lots of love, lots of light sending our way to you, Aretha Franklin. Moving on to topic number 3. The gift that keeps on giving, the bowel movements of the Real Housewives of New York.
Is there anybody who does not have diarrhea? Raise their hand.
That's your poop speeder right there.
5 out of 7 people had it coming out of every single end.
I left them the ultimate gift.
Oh God, what, in the toilet you mean?
No, on the bed.
We are swimming in
They have been to Cartagena, Colombia, and we've got some that can't get off the toilet. We've got some violently ill. We've got some who have been praying for diarrhea and offering to pay $1,000 for Ramona's diarrhea because she can't pass a bowel movement. Literally, the New York women are so savage because they talk about things that are so taboo and they just don't care. They talk about everything down to this season, literally talking about shit. They're talking about shit. They're talking shit and they're talking about shit. Insane. I can't stop laughing at it. Number 4. Real Housewives of Potomac Reunion Part 1 this past Sunday. First of all, they all look like drag queens. There, I said it. I said it and I ain't changing it. The makeup is heavy, the hair is wild. Yes, it's filmed in HD. Yes, I know that's what a reunion is. Yes, I know I'm sounding overly critical, but ladies, makeup artists, drag to the neck, please. The necks are not matching. And please find red and pink undertone foundations. You are putting yellow tone foundations on women who have red or pink and neutral undertones, and they look crazy. Crazy. Anyway, Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. Miss United States, Candace found her voice. Her and BFF Ashley are neck and neck, but then, you know, friends 5 seconds later. That's true friendship, I will say that. But Ashley read her for filth. She said that her title with Miss United States was an off-brand title and that Ashley competed for Miss America, which is a real title. Listen, I love pageants, and I know everyone knows that there are the two main ones. There's Miss America and Miss USA. Miss United States is the one that did come a little bit later in the 80s. That does not diminish its importance and what it does for young women, which is teaching them valuable life skills and philanthropic things and supporting them furthering their education. It was a read, it was a dig, it's things that other people say. It's something I personally don't agree with. I have a lot of friends in the pageant world, and I think that making it that far in any of them is very important, regardless of what brand you are doing. Also, Real Housewives of Potomac, the reunion. Andy was the most opinionated he's ever been in a reunion. He was very, very biased in a lot of his dealings and interactions with some of the housewives. This was very new for him. I have never seen him so opinionated. I don't know what he drank that day. I don't know what was in the coffee. He was a lot more opinionated than he's ever been. So I don't know if this is gonna be a new side of him moving into some more, it was good. I don't know if I liked it really. I don't know. I think he has done a very good job for the past however many years, almost 10 years, of always being able to play in the middle, and he was very, very opinionated in Potomac. I don't know, it was an interesting dynamic. Number 5. The 5th of Troy's titillating topics comes from my sis, Luann. My tall-legged sis. Look at these legs. Out of rehab, in her 50s, multiple divorces, she looks great. And she looks so great that, you know, while I was over in the East Hamptons, had a friend snap me coming out of the store, and let's just see what I look like next to her. Team tall, if you will. Luann, praying for a strong recovery from you. A little bit of backstory. Luann has been dealing with some alcohol issues amidst a divorce and all of these things like this. She even was not able to make it to the reunion. I know that that's old stale tea, but for some of you who might not know, the reunion is the pinnacle of the season. They talk about everything, and for a housewife to not make it to a reunion, it does not happen very often. The last time I can really think of a notable event of when a housewife just didn't show up is probably when, I want to say, Jacqueline couldn't come in New Jersey to a reunion. She couldn't face Teresa for season 3's reunion, I want to say. Fact check me on that. Someone's going to drag me for it. I'm sorry. Update. If you haven't heard about this, you've been living under a rock. Lady Gaga, Mother Monster, has released her tour dates for her Enigma tour in Las Vegas. They're very strange dates. They're very sporadic. It's like there's some in the beginning of 2019, and then she takes a hiatus, and then she comes back in the spring and the summer, and then she's kind of done for the end of summer, and then she comes back again in the fall. It's very strange. So there must be another Vegas resident there that is going to be taking her spot. Also, we know that her health is not the best, so she probably can't be doing a full tour, even though she won't be traveling like normal, but a full tour. She's gonna need some rest, and I respect her for that. I respect her hustle. She's a hard worker. She's one of the best performers I've ever seen live. I've seen her twice, thanks to Lauren, and I love her. So I'm gonna be booking. I'm saving the coins and booking for this Las Vegas trip. All right, let's move into the meat and potatoes of the segment. The read, the tea, and the shade of the week. This week, my cup overfloweth the read. So this past weekend, I went to Jonesboro and I picked up a serving shift because my car got towed a couple weeks ago and I needed some extra cash, okay? This project, it isn't fun in itself. I don't have any sponsors yet, and it is what it is, okay? sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So I went and picked up a serving shift, and I came in and worked like a long double, and my friends who had worked during the day, they finished their shift and they started having a couple drinks, and they were sitting at the bar, and it's my friend Allie and my friend Paige, and they're talking, and I was asking Allie what she was doing after work, and she was like, you know what, I think I really just wanna get day drunk, go eat hibachi, and go home and go to bed at 8 o'clock. And Paige sits next to her and she's looking at her and she goes, so a normal Saturday for you? Oh, honey. That was hot. That was a hot read. Hot off the press read. That was funny. And it was also a little bit of tea because it was true too, okay? Maybe not always hibachi, but Allie loves to finish a Saturday shift and go to bed at 8 with the dogs, okay? Don't hate me when you see this, Allie. I love you. Can't wait to see you again. All right, let's move into this week's tea. Oh, and it is piping hot. I wish I had a kettle because I can't fit all the tea in this cup. I love green tea. We've got 3 cups of tea this week. The first piece of tea is Khloe Kardashian snapping her sister Kourtney and Kourtney's ex-boyfriend and father of children, Scott Disick, at Kylie's birthday party this past weekend. The two were seen canoodling
at Chris Iso's Halloween party.
It's really none of my business, so we're gonna move past that. All I wanted to do is let everybody know that that's what the tea is, okay? They were seen together. All right, the next bit of tea. Kim Richards, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Escape to Witch Mountain star, just had a $250,000 judgment against her for her pit bull, which is a wild banshee, and anyone who's seen this pit bull on camera being filmed, trying to be trained by the trainer of the stars in Beverly Hills, the dog is a nightmare. It's a menace to society, and she just had a $250,000 judgment against her for the dog attacking someone. Listen, this shouldn't be a shock to anyone because the dog attacked Kim's niece 2 years ago. We remember that reunion. And the third bit of tea, the third cup is Thomas Ravenel of Southern Charm, the OG, I think the Charleston brand. He announced that he is not returning to next year's season. He's basically alleging that production fictionalized his storyline. I don't watch the show, but I do know that he is the antagonist of the show. I do think he's the one that is usually villainized. I don't know, that's just me, from what I see from commercials and previews and promos. Anyway, he's saying that his storyline was fictionalized. Maybe that's what made it such a good season. His production did put their hands in a little bit. When something's not good, they do have to get a little down in the dirt with it, even though some people admit that they don't. Production does pull some strings every now and then. I would say most of it is real, but it is a little provoked at times, and maybe that's what happened. Breaking news! The tea is not over. I lied. I don't have 3. I have 4. The fourth topic is social media was also abuzz this week because Nicki Minaj went in on her Queen album, and Safari wasn't having it. And there has been a lot of allegations. There's been a lot of mess between the two of them, back and forth social media and interviews and stuff like that. Nicki Minaj said something about love and hip hop. The most notable one, the biggest part of tea from it all was Nicki saying and alleging that Safari has used her, when they dated, he used her credit card all the time and used to use Nicki's money to buy prostitutes. Safari has denied those claims, and he has also said on Twitter that the both of them did things wrong, and that was sort of alleging that if I was buying prostitutes, you were doing something on the side as well. The biggest read that Nicki gave Safari is she said, I paid $10,000 for your hair transplant that fell out, and they fell out because God doesn't like ugly. And then she threw Tyga under the bus too, because she told the whole world that Tyga had hair transplants too, but Tyga stayed in because he is not ugly and Safari has an ugly soul. Anyway, it's dirty, it's wild, it's insane, it's a lot. All right, another piece of shade. This one's coming from Kelly Dodd from Real Housewives of Orange County. Now this is, part of the storyline this season, part of the drama is that Kelly is now single and on her own, and she is friends with Vicky. Vicky is friends with her and Kelly's ex, Michael. Kelly has recently, in the past few episodes, in the beginning of the season, found out that Vicki had somewhat of a part of hooking Michael up with a girl, and Vicki was going on double dates with her boyfriend, Steve, and Michael. Now, Vicki is friends with both, but there is girl code. She is friends with Kelly first, 100%. Kelly finds out, she gets mad, they go to lunch, they hash it out, Kelly says she forgives her. Now, the gag is that after she forgives her, Kelly keeps bringing it up in mixed company in front of people. Now, this is where I want some interaction from all of you. Do you think that if Kelly forgave her, she can keep bringing it up? And do you think if you were Kelly, you would be as mad as she is at Vicki? So now, again, do you think you would be mad if your friend hooked your ex up with someone and went on double dates with that person, but you were the one that initiated the divorce? Because Kelly initiated the divorce, let's not forget, okay? Now, there's a little bit of girl code, that's my opinion. I don't agree with Vicki, but I also know that Vicki is friends with Michael, and she felt like she didn't want to talk about that. They were just starting to film. Maybe she didn't want to bring it up on film. Maybe she was protecting Kelly. Should she have told her off camera? Probably. I don't know. It's a murky subject. All I know is that if I was Kelly and I forgave her, I wouldn't bring it up as much in front of people just to cause an issue towards Vicki. Shade. Another piece of political shade, and political shade is good. Trump. Somebody take that phone away from him. Seriously, pull it out of his hand, disconnect his wireless, cut down the cell tower, like something. He is on a tweeting rampage against Omarosa, and his most recent one that I saw that is flooding the gates of social media, he calls her a low-life dog. And let me just say this. Apparently he tweeted her like 8 times the other day, like tweeted at her, like he added her, like, at me bro if you're about that life, he added her. And all I'm gonna say is this, a hit dog will holla. And if there's smoke, there's fire, and something in the buttermilk ain't clean. I don't know, all 3 of those euphemisms, like, they all apply to this. Like, if it looks like a duck, and it smells like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, and it's yellow, and it lives and swims in a pond, it's a duck. Like, there's an issue. She's obviously saying something he doesn't want her to say, and there must be a little bit of substance to it. If he would just stay off Twitter, it wouldn't be an issue, and nobody would care. Get over it. Let's get it together. All right, it is time to move into the rose and into the thorn. The rose this week, anyone who has Instagram, I hope that you follow Mike. Here's his handle. Literally hilarious, posts the funniest dancing videos. He does this thing called Cut to the Feeling Friday, and he dances. He started it Pride Month in June, I think, and he dances to Cut to the Feeling by Carly Rae Jepsen, and he does this thing with colorful wigs and this big, like, ponchos and scarves and fans, and it is hilarious. And he got to perform for Carly Rae Jepsen this past weekend. Here's a little clip of it right now. It is literally hysterical. Anyway, that is my rose. It was golden to wake up and see some of those posts this past weekend. So a little bit of gag on that. He was a dancer for Gaga back in the day, like back in the Alejandro days. His resume runs deep, honey. This week's thorn is going to the FBI director for firing a 22-year vet of the FBI simply for texting his mistress, who also worked for the FBI, a little bit of tea. Just fired him just because his opinions of Trump were negative and they were in private text messages. And in the words of Hillary Clinton, my personal emails are my personal business. And I have to agree with this one. It's not a political thing. It's no one's business what he thinks. It was uncalled for. Allegedly, he's going to be suing as well because he feels like he was wrongfully fired and they turned it into a political thing, and it's not. The FBI is not a political department at all. Separation of checks and balances and all of that stuff, like that's not a part of, it's not politics. It's the FBI, and he can have an opinion. And in the words of Tamra, that's my opinion! All right, let's move into my shout outs. My first shout out is coming directly from the boy toy named Troy, used to live in Detroit, because Nicki Minaj dropping Queen early for us, and dropping it at all is my shout out. Like, this album is fire. It's so good. She's coming for everyone. She's coming for blood. Like, the album is good. The features on it are wild. We've got Eminem, we've got The Weeknd, we've got Future. Sir featuring Future is my favorite song. I can't stop listening to it. We've got Ariana Grande. Poor Jessie J. They did Bang Bang together, and they haven't put Jessie J in a feature on either of their albums since. And Jessie J, she must just be like, fuck my vocals, right? Like, anyway, she hasn't released anything since Pink Print in 2014. Great album. Anaconda was wild. Like, that was my song. You couldn't get me to sit if it was on. This is the first album by a female rapper to go #1 in over 60 countries. Like, it's insane. It's a good album. Kudos to you, Nikki. My second shout out is going to Steve, Vicky Gunvalson's boyfriend, for following me on Instagram the other day. Shout out to you, Steve. Thanks for the follow. I followed back. I hope it's not your analytics. And also, I hope you don't have analytics running and following and liking people, because Vicky's the star. And I hope that you followed me out of genuinity. So thanks for the follow. I followed back. Can't wait to see you and support you. And my last shout outs are going to some of my family from back in Michigan who's supporting me on the YouTube channel. Uncle Mark and Aunt Mary, thank you so much for your love and support. Love that you commented on my YouTube. You called me at the day after you watched it. Like, thank you so much. I love it. And happy belated birthday to my sister Colby. She turned 18 years old at the beginning of August a couple of weeks ago. Thank you so much for your support as well. I love all of you. That is the end of the segment this week, episode 2. Thank you so much for watching. Please interact with the things I wanted you to interact with. Let me know what you thought about this one. It's a little bit longer. There was a lot more topics. This week was a lot. I put a lot of effort into this one. So if it's too much, let me know. If I need to scale back, let me know. If you want, like, just be opinionated. Tell me what you want, nicely, constructively. And don't say I don't like this. Explain it why, okay? Tell me why. So yeah, that's it. Signing off. I'm about to go work out. I know it doesn't look like I work out very much, but so anyway, signing off until next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. It means the world. I will see you next week for an all new The Reading Room Thursday. Have a great weekend, and yeah, peace. Oh my, I spilled my tea! All right. What the hell happened? That's my opinion. Okay, well, I gotta hurry up because I'm burning daylight. I'm a little under the weather. All right. The whole part that was trash. Oh my God, Troy. Okay, I'm gonna start something new this week. It's gonna be called True Tea with Troy. And this is just gonna be some like motivational things, some honest things, and it's just gonna be maybe uplifting. It might be controversial, it might be problematic, but it's just going to be something at the end, just a little like tip or something like a DIY or something like that. But it's gonna be True Tea with Troy. This week's True Tea with Troy. Be prepared always to work without applause. It's such a powerful quote, and it's stemming from do things for you that are gonna benefit you and make you happy, and don't do things to get attention and get praise from others, because it's going to be empty and inorganic. Be prepared to work always without applause. Like, you don't need gratification and praise from other people just for doing your job or doing something good. Just do it because it's expected of you, and it's going to come back and make things better for you in the future. This is this week's True Tea with Troy.